Hello, loves. Welcome to the Love Letters from Your Higher Self, the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. How have you been? You all look amazing. So I already pulled 3 cards. This is gonna be our ordinary reading that has been ordinary for a few months now, and I'm so proud of myself because I have maybe not as much time for this podcast as I wanted when I started it, but I am happy that I'm showing up consistently, and it's just I'm happy about this. Okay, so the usual thing. What do you need to know right now? Kind reminders, empowerment, inspiration, and all that. So we have 3 groups. No identifiers to choose from, just 3 cards, group 1, group 2, group 3, or you can use timestamps, look at them, and maybe you will see some numbers that will speak to you, and you will choose based on those numbers. So yeah, and let's start with group number 1. Group number 1, what do you need to know right now is that you need to chill and you need to relax. And I feel like when I say this to you, you're probably rolling your eyes right now and you're like, I can't chill, it's hard to relax. But I heard something today from one of law of assumption teachers, and I liked it, and I feel like it's for you. Also, it was for me when I received this message, but it's also for you, and I feel called to share this with you. So it was Semi Ingram, and she said, I loved what she said. She said that a lot of people say that they work on their desires, make their dreams come true for years. And the truth is that for years, manifestation comes faster. And the truth is that for years you haven't been manifesting it, or they haven't been manifesting it. They were switching identities all the time. And they were thinking about their desire, maybe doing practices, but then they were spiraling in their thoughts about how it's not working, how it takes time. I have been doing this for this amount of time. I've been doing this for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. And the moment you start being aware of time is the moment you start creating more time, because what you're aware of is what you create. And you know how we sometimes we think positive thoughts and we manifest, we do some manifestation practices, and then there is this quiet second, what's it called? Second line of thoughts that is happening simultaneously, and it's saying things like, okay, I'm repeating this affirmation, or I'm doing this visualization, I hope it works. I've been doing this for 2 weeks or 2 months, and it hasn't been working. And the way she explained it is that what you're doing when you do this, when you allow the second line of thoughts on the background to be, and you sort of engage with it, what you do is you put in the work, the manifestation work, as if it's some project and you need to put in a lot of work in it for it to work. But this is where you are jumping between the identities, or sometimes you're not even jumping, you're doing this manifestation work, and the second line, there's probably a better way to call it, but I don't know, I'm sorry. But you identify with the second line of thoughts that are observing and wondering if it's working and counting time. And when we are identifying with that second line of thoughts, no matter what we do, we still expect, we still create from our identity, and our identity is not fully 100% all in the manifestation practice, no matter the practice, even if you repeat affirmations, Like if there is this second line of thoughts that is doubting manifestation, I mean, doubting affirmations and worrying, like this is what you identify with, you know? And you need to break those thoughts, and I mean, break and interrupt those thoughts and not engage in them. They are what creates, you know? This is not what Sammy said. This is what I noticed. Like, this is what resonated when I was listening to her explanation. And I was going to say something else about this. Like, yeah, I forgot. It'll come back. It's okay. But it's just important for us to notice that when we do that and stop identifying with those thoughts, with that, that background thinking that is doubting. And I was going to say, she said that, like, if we own, like, there is this fear, the reason why we're counting time and noticing time and being aware of the time it takes, is because we're scared that it will take a long time. But if we could only let go of this awareness of time and instead go all in on our manifestation, everything would happen so much faster, because the moment we would let go of the awareness of time is the moment we would stop identifying with this observer mentality, the observer identity that is, like, that we're struggling with, and that is holding us into the old identity, for whom it takes a lot of time and barely even manifests, Like, she said something like, if you could just let go of time, and it, like, every time you worry about time, you would say, like, when I start thinking from this new identity, the reality will have to match it, because it's a law. Like, it doesn't have any options. It has to. And then you continue. And so the reason I'm telling you this right now is because the message for you is that, like, you need to chill. But, like, the identity in which you are right now is not chill. You're stressed, maybe you're scared, you're agitated, you're anxious. And, like, you can't create from that energy. And you need to zoom out. You need to step back. You need to go general, like, and you need to allow yourself to feel that you're the creator of your own reality, that the whole world reacts to you, your reality reacts to you, and you create it with your awareness. What are you aware of is what you create. And you need to be aware of yourself and, like, helping yourself be calm, because the whole world is a reflection of you. And it's important. Like, it's so important. The other day I was obsessed a little bit over my cat, because some time ago, a few years ago, she had this skin condition where she was, like, anxious, and she was, like, licking herself, grooming herself to a point where she had bald spots. And we didn't know what to do with it. But then, like, I started manifesting actively, and, like, she healed. And like, a few days ago, I noticed the same behavior where she was obsessively grooming herself, and I was stressed about it. And like, instead of obsessing, I started manifesting again. And I started, like, my go-to practice is this embodiment practice. I try, like, it's not that I try, I don't like the word try. I practice manifesting just with thoughts, with affirmations, because I feel like I found for myself that it's an easier way when I'm comfortable to just be on a mental diet, and just think, just flip thoughts, and do some, like, robotic affirming. But when I'm stressed, my go-to practice is embodiment. I'm pretty sure I talked a lot about it on this podcast, but I don't remember now. I will look for maybe episodes where I talked about it, and, like, if I find any, if I remember which ones they are, I will leave them in the description, in the show notes. But yeah, my like the embodiment practice is when I'm like, um, let's imagine that my cat is absolutely 100% healthy, and I know that she's 100% healthy and okay and happy. And how do I feel? And then I start naming the feelings, like then I can relax and I feel good. Basically, I just shared with you what the embodiment practice is. And like I name the feelings, and when I name them, I feel them deeper. And I'm like, I'm okay, everything's like I'm chill. I don't have to observe her, I don't have to watch her, I don't have to, like, I can just relax and my mind is clear and I can like do other things. And so I was being in this energy for a while, and then like the switch happened, like where I just got, like I started feeling so good that I, like, for a few moments I forgot about my cat, like forgot that like there's something wrong with her. And I really calmed down, like my nervous system calmed down, and I was thinking about something else. And I realized at that moment that, like, actually I was agitated before my cat started over grooming, like this moment, like during that few hours, those few hours. And then I looked at her and she was peacefully sleeping. And I was like, I had this realization that she just reacts to me. And like, I was agitated and she was agitated and she was over grooming, and it made me even more agitated. But like when I calmed down, the energy around me calmed down too, and my cat calmed down and she was just peacefully sleeping. And like, my point is, your whole reality reacts to you. And if your reality right now feels and looks and is chaotic, you need to go within and calm yourself and find this state of inner peace and prioritize it, because what's on the inside creates what's on the outside every freaking time, and you need to take care of yourself and your nervous system. And this is the whole message for group number 1. Thank you so much for listening, and let's move on to group number 2. Okay, group number 2. What do you need to know right now? I would say you need to know that you have a choice. You always have a choice. I feel like maybe like it's not about all of you who chose this group. But like, I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't resonate, choose a different group, or maybe listen to them all and like pick and choose what resonates and leave the rest. But I want to say that you are right now in this energy, like in this perspective that you don't have a choice. And you are struggling maybe to see a higher perspective, a different perspective, like you are really struggling to zoom out because you're so in the thick of it, and like you are observing something that you don't necessarily like, and like you don't see a way out. And my job right now is to tell you that there is always another way. There's always another way. And like, to access it, first of all, you sort of need to listen to group number 1. You need to regulate your nervous system, because your reality like reacts to you. And then there is another piece. I don't remember. I feel like maybe I shared it before on this podcast, maybe like a few episodes back, because it was just such a powerful and amazing thought. That I'm pretty sure I shared it, but like, if you heard it once, listen to it again, because like it's so precious. So I was reading a book. I didn't really enjoy the book. It was a book about tarot, and it was full of limiting ideas about tarot, but there was this amazing thought. Like, it's partially the author's thought and partially my thought. So like, I don't know, like it evolved. But like, it evolved into this amazing understanding that like, what is not what is the difference, what am I trying to say? Like, how do I start? So, like, there is this idea that we all know that humans have free will, the freedom of choice, right? But we sometimes don't feel it. We sometimes don't feel like we have this choice. And so there was this like discussion about this in the book that I was reading. And then there was this like formula. I don't remember, like, honestly, I don't remember which part is the author's and which part is mine. So I will just start sharing it. So, like, we don't experience the freedom of choice when we see ourselves smaller than our circumstances. This is why, like, if we let's take some very like obvious example. The example I used in my Russian podcast was like alcoholism, for example. Like, no matter, like, if a person has a problem with alcohol, a lot of people around that person can tell them that like it's their choice, they're making this choice every day, and like they get to choose to not do this. But if this person doesn't feel themselves like equally powerful to the circumstances they have, they won't experience this freedom of choice, because this freedom of choice is not accessible when you don't feel powerful. And like when you don't feel powerful, you feel stuck, you feel small, you feel scared, you feel that like you're in this victim mentality where you don't believe that you somehow can influence in any way your circumstances to receive the outcome that you want. And like the circumstances just, like they create pressure on you, and under this pressure you collapse and you just act by default, and you don't experience this freedom of choice. You don't have it, basically, because like reality is too much for you. But when this person like with different things, with the help of different things, sometimes therapy, sometimes like, I don't know, self-reflection, journaling, shadow work, meditation, like whatever works for them, when they climb out of this victim mentality and they start gaining, like start feeling more in control of their life, then before action they experience this pause where they feel that they get to make a choice. This is where the freedom of will happens, when a person starts feeling equally powerful to the circumstances. And the way it was described in a book is that like when a person feels equally powerful, it creates the equivalent amount of pressure to the reality, like the circumstance. I want you to see this, like I like this visual so much. It was just like so amazing. Like imagine when a person in a victim mentality, and this person feels so small, and there is this like outer world that is creating so much pressure that under this pressure this person collapses. And like in this reality, like in this situation, the person doesn't feel the freedom of choice. They just, act the way they act by default, and they don't have a choice, right? But then when this person grows and like it climbs out of victim mentality, and like in that moment this person becomes equally powerful in their mind. They start feeling themselves equally powerful and capable to create the same amount of pressure to the reality as the reality, like the same amount of pressure that the reality has on them. And this person doesn't collapse under the pressure of reality anymore. Since it gives this equal amount of pressure, now when all the powers are pressing on each other and nothing collapses, there is space. There is space that is, accessible for this person, where they can choose, where they can observe, and they can make a choice, and they kind of become aware of the old ways, and like the new ways, and how they can react differently. And so I would say that all of us still have some tendencies to be in a victim mentality. It's just that, like, for some people, the area in which they're like, the area of control, locus it's called, right? The locus of control is smaller, and for some it's bigger. And like, no matter where you are right now, you may not feel like there is a different way, there is another choice, because right now you feel powerless to change your circumstances. And because of your, like, basically what I'm talking about here is that, like, it's about your self, like, identity. It's about your self concept. You see yourself as powerless, and this is why you don't see other choices, when in reality there is this I can't remember who said that, but there is this amazing advice when it comes to, like, if you need to make a choice but you don't like either options, what do you do? And there is always an option to not choose, and to, like, rise above this choice and not play this game of, like, I need to urgently choose something. There is no such thing as urgency in the universe. And like, and you can just rise above the circumstances and just move forward until you find an option that is, like, or manifest an option that is, like, enjoyable for you, but like, a person who feels like a victim of circumstances doesn't experience that. And they're like, what do you mean? This is my reality. Like, I need to do something and I don't like what I need to do, because, like, I feel powerless. Work on your self concept. You need to grow your perception of self to become equally powerful and equally able to create pressure on reality, to experience this choice. I love this concept so much, because, like, it immediately shifts focus from, like, acting in the 3D to, like, what do you need to do with yourself energetically. Like, you need to apply all the energy that you have right now onto yourself, because this will be the most helpful thing. And so, like, what I need to tell you about what you need to know right now, based on the reading, like, based on the card I pulled for you, is that, like, you always have this choice. And the reason why you may not see this way right now is because you feel smaller than your circumstances, when in reality you're not. You're not smaller than anything. You create your reality. And so your low self-esteem, like your miserable self-concept, your shitty self-concept, created this reality where you don't have a choice when you actually do. And I love mentioning Abraham Hicks's quote here, where they said, you're so powerful you can choose bondage. This is what you did, and you can climb out of it. You're never a victim, like, you can climb out of this. So, yeah, start pouring all your energy into growing your self-concept. Start with, like, simple affirmations, like, I'm the creator of my own reality. I'm a master at manifesting. Everything works, everything works out for me. Everything goes my way. I always get what I want. And just, like, do some mirror work, do some shadow work, like, start repeating this and believe this and actually listen to group number one. And like there was some very relevant piece of information about like not believing your old thoughts. So this is all. This is all. That's it. That's all for group number 2. Thank you for listening, and we're moving on to group number 3. Okay, group number 3. What do you need to know right now? You need to know that everything is under control. Like whatever you say will be, and I feel like you are maybe agreeing to something, like to somebody else's scenario of how things should be, or how things will be, and you don't. It's actually a little bit like on the topic that we discussed in group number 2. So if you were choosing between group number 2 and group number 3, maybe you need to listen to group number 2. But I feel like, like if in group number 2 the case was that like a person may not feel that they have a choice, for you it's a little bit different, because like you have a choice, and you know that like you are aware of the fact that you want something better, and like you can choose something better, but I feel like you're listening too much to the people you love, and like accepting the limitations maybe, and like because for you maybe you didn't think about it before, or maybe you did, and like made this wrong conclusion that if you refuse to agree with somebody's limitations, somebody's limiting beliefs, limiting statements about how life works, how life is, it means that you don't love them. And like it's not true. You can love a person and at the same time choose better statements, choose better beliefs for yourself, and like and I feel like maybe you feel that when you do that, like when you dissect this person and like see clearly the limiting beliefs, and like it means that you are being too critical and like not loving and not accepting this person unconditionally. Like I feel that there is this like messiness in how you see acceptance of people and love for people and gratitude to people, for people, and your right to choose your own truth, and like, and this is what I feel like this is what is confusing for you right now, because like you know what it reminded me of, like when people start healing their relationship with money and start manifesting money, and they start being scared that they will not fit in, because the whole community is like not focused around, but like one of the common denominators was that like they were poor together, and maybe they were like judging wealthy people, or they were just like I don't know, like sharing food with each other, sharing resources with each other, and like it was such a big part of their self-identity, self-concept, that like they don't have money, that when they allow themselves to want money and to work on making money, they just become really scared that they will not be a part of the group anymore. This is what it reminds me of. Like, you're scared that if you this is just so powerful. Like, this is such a familiar state. I remember feeling this even when I was like in my early 20s. Back then I didn't know what to do with this feeling, but like I felt that if I really, really wanted, I could just, climb out of this misery and create this amazing life for myself. But people who love me won't understand it, and they won't get it, because as it turns out, everything I want is what they seem to be judging, and this is why I choose them out of love, and I even to some degree feel noble inside myself, like to feel noble within me, that I choose them and I choose love over my own what's it called, my own ambition, and like, and I'm even sort of proud of myself for choosing people and connections over my selfishness, but like it's just such a lie. And you can look at this way if it's helpful, but I can imagine that since it's stopping you from reaching, like, to achieving your dreams, it's not really fulfilling. And if we turn it a little bit and look at it from a different angle, it's the same situation where you're dimming your light to not annoy others, and like you're not living your life for yourself, you're living your life for somebody else and for somebody else's approval, and you're betraying yourself every step of the way. And when you look at it this way, you stop valuing that community that is shitting on your growth, And like this is what you need to stop doing, because like where you want to move, how you want to move, where you want to go, and you know how to do it. And like you just get to trust it. Like, and it's, again, if we dig a little bit deeper into this, I would also like to remind you that people usually reflect to you what, like, your own assumptions about them. So like if you see them and expect them to be judgmental, they will probably be judgmental, because every person can rise up or fall down to your expectations. Start expecting better things. It's just that sometimes, for some reason, we need to push against people, like, because this was my way. This was my way, my path for a long time. Like, I needed to push against people, like in my older circle, in my original circle, to grow. And I was growing like on anger for a while, because because like I was pushing against them. I knew that they are not approving of me. I knew that they were like judgmental, and I used it, like I turned it and used it instead of what am I trying to say? Like, instead of being scared of it, I use it as my what's it called? Petroleum, gasoline, gas. I use it as my gas. Like, as my drive. Okay, this sounds better. And like, it helped me to move forward. But then in the end, I still needed to heal my relationship. Like, not actual relationship with them, not necessarily, but like in my head I needed to forgive them and let them go, because like you can go so far on anger, and then you still need to heal it, because like it starts blocking your growth. Because like if you learn to just grow and evolve based on pushing against, like with the help of pushing against, how do I say it, if you just grow because you're pushing against someone, and then like you outgrow them, and then you want something else, and either you continuously keep manifesting people to push against, which is painful and hurtful, or you choose to just grow because you choose to grow, because you want to grow, and you choose to let go and forgive all the people who caused you pain. So like the choice right now is yours, but you need to choose yourself anyway. You need to, like, think about yourself and chase your dreams, because you were born to live this life your way. Basically, like, I feel like this is a very powerful reminder to all of us. You were born to live this life your way, to make your choices, not like satisfy everybody else except yourself. It's tiresome, and like And even stop looking at it as like you choose yourself or you choose loving people. Like it's not either or, it can be both. And like visualize this reality where you chose your own happiness and everybody approved of you. Like because it also, it can be, people can celebrate you because like everyone is you pushed out. Google that. Like we're all the same, and what you expect of people, this is how they, like this is what they do, this is how they present themselves. But you need to choose yourself. You need to stop keeping yourself small. You know what to do, and you need to just embrace it, like you need to sit with yourself and you need to give yourself permission to be who you want to be, and even like dare to imagine who you want to be, dare to imagine the life you want to live, and just feel the happiness and joy and let that be your drive. It's time to choose yourself. So this is the main message for you, group number 3. It's time to choose yourself and not necessarily push against people, but like choose yourself anyway. And that's all, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it was helpful. I want to remind you that I have a second podcast in English called Joyous to Be, and I do collective readings there. So if you enjoyed what you heard here, I will be happy to have you as a listener on my second podcast. Well, it actually is my first podcast. This one, the one you're listening right now, is my second podcast. So yeah, and have a good day, and I will talk to you next time.